All right, we have a wild one for you today. We are diving head first into the complete and utter chaos of the 2024 NFL Draft, a night that pretty much broke every record and just torched every mock draft out there. So, the whole story of this insane NFL draft really starts with just one number, 6. And what exactly does that number mean? You got it. 6, count them. 6 quarterbacks flew off the board in just the first 12 picks. Now, to put that in perspective, that ties the all-time record from 1983 for the most QBs taken in the entire first round. This drafted it in less than half the time. It was an absolute feeding frenzy for quarterbacks right from the jump. But, the run on offense, it didn't even come close to stopping with the QBs. The next number that just completely defined this draft was 23. Yeah, a mind-blowing 23 of the 32 first-round picks were guys on the offensive side of the ball. That is a brand new NFL record. In fact, the first 14 players selected were all on offense. The message from GMs around the league couldn't have been clearer. This is an offensive arms race, and we are not getting left behind. So when you have that kind of historic run on one side of the ball, it creates a massive domino effect. It led to pure, unadulterated chaos for all the draft experts. I mean, their carefully crafted mock drafts, yeah, they got absolutely wrecked. And you kind of have to ask, right? With all that mayhem, just how far off were those consensus mock drafts that we all spent months obsessing over? Well, let's take a look at the damage. And this just tells the whole story. I mean, look at some of these slides. Dallas Turner was supposed to be a top 10 lock. He falls all the way to 17. Cooper DeJean, a guy everyone had in the first round, slips to pick 40. And don't even get me started on Adonai Mitchell, mocked at 28, and he doesn't hear his name called until pick 52. This kind of unpredictability sent every single team's draft board into a blender.
But here's the thing, one person's chaos is another person's golden opportunity. All those guys sliding down the board created some unbelievable bargains for teams that were either patient or just plain lucky. So who walked away with the biggest steals of the draft?
Okay, let's head over to Philadelphia because the Eagles might have pulled off the single biggest heist of the first round. At pick number 22, they grabbed cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, a player that honestly almost no one believed would still be there.
And we're not talking about some project player here. Draft analysts were saying this guy has all the tools to become a true shutdown corner. That's the kind of elite blue chip talent you dream of getting in the top 10. And somehow he was just sitting there for the Eagles at 22.
I mean, look at this. Mitchell was the number 11 ranked player on the consensus big board. The Eagles got a top-tier talent for basically a 50% discount. That right there, that is how you build a dominant team.
And the crazy value at cornerback didn't stop there. Just 2 picks later, the Detroit Lions made a move, traded up, and snagged Alabama's Terrion Arnold, who was another elite corner that everybody projected to be long gone by then.
Seriously, just think about this for a second. The 11th and 12th best players in the entire draft class, both at a super important position like cornerback, ended up getting picked at 22 and 24. It is the perfect illustration of how that insane run on offense just pushed incredible defensive talent right down the board into the laps of waiting teams.
But hey, the steals weren't just happening in round 1. Let's jump ahead to day 2 and talk about the Dallas Cowboys picking up offensive lineman Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. According to the folks at Draft Dive, grabbing Beebe where they did was just a tremendous value for Dallas. This is a guy who was a versatile, tough-as-nails starter for years in the Big 12. He was seen as a guy you could just plug in and start at guard or center from day 1. And yeah, the numbers definitely back that up. His consensus rank was 46th overall, which means most people saw him as a solid mid-second round talent. The Cowboys snagged him all the way down at pick 73. That is a massive bargain, almost a full round later than he should have gone. All right, so we've seen how NFL teams are gambling on future superstars. Now let's make a hard pivot. We're going from the draft room to the hardwood, where it's not about the future, it's about right now, with legacies on the line in a huge NBA play-in game. And this matchup for the 8th seed is just a perfect clash of styles. On one side, you've got the Phoenix Suns. Their whole identity is built on tough, gritty defense, but man, they really struggle to score. They're actually one of the bottom 5 teams in points per game. Then you have the Golden State Warriors, who can still go nuclear on offense, but, well, they have a lot of trouble stopping anybody. It's a classic battle. Can Phoenix's suffocating D shut down Golden State's firepower? Or is Stephen Curry just going to be, well, Stephen Curry? Oh, and the prize for surviving this absolute grind of an elimination game? You get a first-round series against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. So yeah, this isn't just about squeaking into the playoffs, it's about earning the right to go up against the final boss. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question that spans both sports. In these high-pressure moments, who's actually the bigger threat? Is it the young, undervalued draft day steal like a Quinyon Mitchell, a guy with a chip on his shoulder ready to prove everybody wrong? Or is it the playoff-tested legend like a Steph Curry, a guy who we've all seen get scorching hot and just take over a game all by himself? Something to think about.